Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello everyone, this is CoreTV Primetime News with Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, federal government approaches National Assembly to curtail patience on the surveillance. The People's Democratic Party declares Adamawa State Acting Governor Umar Funtiri eligible to participate in primary election. Also in this program, federal government assures local manufacturers of adequate protection as the proposed economic partnership agreement sets to take off. And outside Nigeria, Pakistani government says it will reopen dialogue with opposition groups after a violent protest outside the president's residence. And now the news in detail. Following cases of escape from quarantine and surveillance by 2 Ebola disease patients from Lagos to Enugu and Port Harcourt, the Minister of Health has said it would approach the National Assembly in order to enact a law that will criminalize movement of patients under surveillance during outbreak of epidemics such as Ebola virus disease. Minister of Health Onyebuchi Chukwu says that the review of the quarantine law became necessary given the current Ebola outbreak. According to the minister, the Health Ministry is strengthening surveillance and working with the National Assembly to review the country's quarantine law. He stressed that apart from the 2 known cases of escape to Enugu and Port Harcourt respectively, no other cases have been identified, adding that nonetheless there is need to strengthen all set in motion and enabling law to prevent patients from escaping surveillance. Nigeria has an existing Quarantine Act, which was enacted in 1926. This act has, however, become grossly inadequate. Recently in the Senate, Senator Clever Marcus Ikisipo sponsored a bill that seeks to repeal and reenact the Quarantine Act. The bill, if passed, seeks to make provisions for preventing the introduction into Nigeria and from Nigeria dangerous infectious and communicable diseases, organisms, and agents.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website.
Study on Ebola were killed by virus before their research was published, highlighting the huge risks undertaken by those working to combat its spread. The study published recently discovered that the virus has mutated many times during the outbreak in West Africa, making establishing a treatment more difficult. Balufuni, Alex Moibo, Alice Kovoma, Mohammed Fula, and Sheikh Umar Khan worked with lead researchers at Harvard University to examine the current outbreak. Science Mag said all 5 were experienced members of the Kenema government hospital's Lassa fever team. Lassa fever infections have similar symptoms to Ebola. Their work sequenced the virus genomes from 78 patients and traced the outbreak in Sierra Leone to a funeral of a healer, which a pregnant Kenema government hospital Ebola patient and older woman who were also infected attended. 2 months before his death, Khan had described the dangers of treating people with the disease, telling Reuters he feared for his life. As he examined blood samples of Ebola, he said, "I'm afraid for my life, I must say, because I cherish my life." health workers are prone to the disease because they're the first point of call for someone who is sickened by the disease. As the issue of the management of Ebola virus disease outbreak and associated matters continue to generate reactions from Nigerians, a medical doctor and vice chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association Lagos chapter, Segun Akinwotu, says the insurance and daily allowance for health workers involved in the management of patients at the isolation center for Ebola patients in Lagos should be extended to all health workers. Akinwotu was a guest on our flagship program called Digest, and he says the outbreak of Ebola is what is with us now, but that there are other equally deadly events which are being managed, and all health workers should be covered to ensure that other such outbreaks are well managed.
I don't want to relate volunteering or being involved in Ebola management mainly with 60,000 naira because it's just more like a compensation. As we say, we believe it's more of having health insurance that matters most. Okay. And we want to say that it's not even just health workers involved in Ebola management that should be insured. I think all medical personnel should be insured. It is very important. It is Ebola we have seen today. There are many other things.
He stressed that the move by the federal government to criminalize the movement of people under quarantine is a step in the right direction.
No, that's the way to go. Because it's just like you are aware that this illness you have is not until you kiss somebody or you do something that is avoidable by you. It's just ordinary a handshake. You will shake people you don't even know. You have contact with people you don't even know. So once you've been identified as a potential source of this illness and you've been restricted from movement and you decide to still move, we think the law should be able to come against you once you violate that law.
The Speaker, House of Representatives Aminu Tambuwa, says it is undemocratic to over-militarize the country during the 2015 elections, urging the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure the conduct of a free and fair election. Speaking at the residence of the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Pius Udibu, before attending the wedding ceremony of the son of Oba of Benin, Tambuwa explained that militarizing the environment during elections would discourage voters from freely participating in the poll. According to him, the country must not be over-militarized during elections to the extent that voters get intimidated and scared, and they rather withdraw and remain indoors. Reacting to speculations of his imminent defection to the APC, he says, and I quote, "When I went to collect my voter's card, I said I was consulting, and I am still consulting. Nigeria is not a small country. We have very senior leaders that one needs to meet with before taking such decisions. As I said, I'm consulting, and at the appropriate time, I will come out to say what I'll be doing in 2015. And as for Nigerians, they want free and fair credible elections in 2015. End of quote. And away from that story, Governorship Appeal Screen Panel of the People's Democratic Party has cleared the acting governor of Adamawa State, Umar Fintiri, to take part in the September 6th governorship primary election in the state. Fintiri got the green light on Sunday after the appeal panel examined his complaints, which he lodged after his disqualification by the screening committee headed by Ibrahim Mantu on Saturday. Mantu, while announcing Fintiri's disqualification, had quoted Section 191, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution, which stipulates that a governor in an acting capacity cannot contest in an election he is midwifing. However, Fintiri objected the disqualification and took his case to the appeal committee, which eventually cleared him for the primaries. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the Saturday Niger East senatorial by-election inconclusive due to irregularities in some polling units. The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in Niger State, Emmanuel Nucheo, made this known at the end of the result collation in Mina. He says another election would be held in some polling units in Boso Changchaga, Muya, Paikoro, Rafi, and Shiroro local government areas on September 6. The by-election was held in 9 councils: Boso, Chanchanga, Gurara, Muya, Paikoro, Rafi, Shiroro, Suleja, and Tafa. It says that the election witnessed cases of ballot box snatching, arm twisting of electoral officials, and violence. Onucheyo stressed the standing results for the 4 parties that participated were given as All Progressives Congress 84,689, All Progressive Grand Alliance 2,099, People's Democratic Party 89,640, and the Social Democratic Party 460. The number of registered voters was 937,443. Number of accredited voters 199,719 and 176,888. The number of valid votes cast. We'll take a quick break now and we'll return with more stories. Please stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
One continent, 54 countries, over 2,000 languages, but united in similar interests. As news breaks, we give you in-depth analysis around Africa every Monday on CoreTV News.
Nigerians continue to travel
the city of Lagos.
There is still a one level of
Be the first to know
CoreTV News
from the north, south, east, west, and around Africa.
A federal
We break the news.
We are one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News,
Welcome to
a
CoreTV.
24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Lagos State Governor Babachinde Fashola has blamed the economic woes of the country on the abandonment of the nation's rail system by the federal government. Fashola made this known after inspecting the Nigerian Railway Corporation maintenance yard in Apapa. Abiola Luwale was there and filed in this report presented from our studios.
The visit to the Nigerian Railway Corporation maintenance yard Apapa by Lagos State Governor Babachinde Fashola is in continuation of the Lagos government effort to ensure a cleaner and safer environment in Apapa. The obviously abandoned yard has become a community to destitute. Lamenting the level of environmental degradation in the area, Fashola expresses displeasure over the neglect of the NRC maintenance yard, which according to him was a major channel of transport from Apapa port to other parts of the country in the 70s. He says reviving the nation's rail system is key to having a sustainable transportation Nigerians are yearning for.
It's not enough to go and buy coaches and say that we have revived rail. How many coaches are running? Until we can move heavy cargo, goods, containers, fuel on our existing rail network, then we're far from it.
Fashola also visited the LASMA headquarters in Oshodi to inspect some newly acquired tow trucks by the agency. The governor did not hide his displeasure in how the federal government has allowed multi-billion naira Nigeria Railways facility rot away. His remarks certainly represent what many Nigerians have been clamoring for, reviving the Nigerian rail system.
Leading political parties have recently expressed high expectations towards the fast-approaching 2015 general elections. Many citizens equally are looking forward to the general polls. Omotayo Alohu visited Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, has more in this report.
Ilorin was quiet and peaceful as residents go about their daily businesses. Residents here seemed to be politically active as they were eager to talk on their expectations for the 2015 general elections in Ilorin.
That will do a favor for us The I pray that as you enter.
I prefer PDP to rule this Kwara State.
It's better we just vote for people that we know are capable, competent people, that we know that when they get there, they will do what is best.
They should know that this nation is greater than anybody.
A member of the ruling All Progressive Congress and senior special assistant to the governor of Kwara State and Media, Muhyiddin Akorede, says the Kwara State government has provided employment opportunity for the teeming unemployed in the state.
Next year, we have very robust administration here in Kwara State. Based on what the governor has done, I believe, and strongly too, this is my personal opinion, that he should continue to do his good work. And that any other administration at local level or state level, in any other places where you have touched people's lives, sometimes you don't even have to. Once people connect with you and you know that this man has worked for us, your work is done.
Special advisor to the executive governor on information says the ruling government has made life comfortable for the masses.
The ruling party in Kwara State is the All Progressive Congress, APC. And that come rain, come shine, will win election. Some people will be doing high GG, what I call initial gra-gra. They are foreign politicians. They don't have any connection with the grassroots. Some of them live in Abuja, some live in Lagos, some live they will not come. Even during the PVC collection, they were not anywhere to be seen. So they are Abuja politicians. They are foreigners. It is we eat and dine with the people.
But the People's Democratic Party in Kwara says all is not well with governance in the state, and the party is set to take over governance so as to make life comfortable for all residents of Kwara State.
We already have our manifesto. We already have even canvassers. Recently, we have bought vehicles for all the 16 local government councils in Kwara State. Not only that, we are about distributing 200 motorcycles to all our canvassers in 193 wards of Kwara State. We have a good message to the people of Kwara State, and we are fully prepared.
Political tempo can be said to be building up in Kwara State as politicians and residents prepare towards the general elections coming up in 2015.
All roads lead to the Kwara State Government House come 2015 elections. Political parties have expressed the desire to grasp the seat of the state, but it is left to the citizens who will be exercising their voting right come 2015 elections. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
Thank you, Motayo. Judicial workers under the aegis of Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSN, has threatened to resume the suspended strike on October 2. It was learned that JUSN gave the threat after the meeting of the National Executive Council of the union met during the weekend. The union was said to have resolved to embark on a fresh round of strike if stakeholders refused to comply with a memorandum of understanding reached separately with them on January 1 and August 1, 2014. Rising from the emergency NEC meeting of the union held at Labour House, Abuja, the union condemned the failure of the stakeholders, including Accountant General of the Federation and others, to respect the MOU they entered into with JUSN. A communique released after the meeting was jointly signed by the President, Marwa Adamu, and Union's General Secretary, Isaiah Adetola. The union commended the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Aloma Mukhtar, for her intervention in asking the stakeholders to address issues relating to the demand of the union in order to the disruption of judiciary activities at the end of the 45 days given in the aforesaid MOU. The union had on July 11 embarked on a nationwide strike following the failure of the various state governments to comply with the judgment of a Federal High Court Abuja granting financial autonomy to the judiciary. However, through the intervention of the Minister of Labour, Emeka Wogo, the union had called off the strike after the various stakeholders, including the Accountant General of the Federation, the Nigerian Bar Association, the Ministry of Justice, among others. The role of Nigerian actors in the democratization of the country has again been brought to the fore. The Golden Movies Ambassadors, a non-governmental organization, has organized a lecture to dwell on the need to bridge the gap between democracy and the movie industry. Anita Fatunji has more.
Bridging the gap between Nigerian democracy and the entertainment industry is the theme of the lecture. Speaking at the lecture, the president of Women Arise, Joe Oke Odumakin, says There is no way democracy can thrive when the entertainment world is not being helped to mirror the society.
Entertainment world is meant to mirror the society, and as soon as it stops mirroring the society, that gap ceases to exist. There must be that synergy. The entertainment world, the art, the movie industry must help to project the image of the society, and then when we have the ease of the society, it will also help to mirror it, and they will also be like good role models. And as it's extremely difficult to clap with one hand, as the entertainment world is doing that, government must ensure that the law outlawing piracy is made, to take its full course.
And while the president of the association, Sahid Balogun, stated aims and objectives of the association.
Entertainment generally, for you to now have a conference and have 15 professional body apart from the old people, a lot of those people we call them in their departure halls. 80, 85 who are ready to go, who have led us to where we are today. But no regard for us in entertainment. We are here to say we are the voice of this country. We are the voice of Africa. Enough of talking. Action. Actualization of our dream. Actualization of our future. Bringing the goodies of the whole world, painting Nigeria in a good frame of mind of those people who are external there. That is what this association is all about.
Without them, you don't have drama, you don't have theater. Without the actors, we have power. But it's power that needs to be used. They are honored. And it's the way we treat ourselves and the way we behave on set.
However, to this movie ambassador Alex Uwaifo, research needs to be carried out by both the government and the industry, and solutions need to be preferred as to how piracy can be curbed.
I think individually we are trying, but I don't know what the government is actually doing. Maybe we have certain policies that are not exactly well, implemented, But I think we should be more. The government should take it very seriously. And what we need to do very seriously is that we should carry out researches. It's not just trying to fight something. We should be able to carry out researches. Let's know how, how far, how terribly, piracy has dealt with the industry, and the people behind it, and maybe, suggest, solutions.
Actors in the country are no doubt role models for majority of the population. That is why their role in any struggle is important. Nigeria's democracy is closely linked to the voice of the Nollywood. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
You're watching CoreTV Primetime News live from Lagos. We'll take a break and I'll be back with more stories. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Nigerians continue to travel the city of Lagos waits a dog as all routes
Be the first to know from the north, south, east, west and around Africa. We break the news.
We are one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV,
a 24-hour news station.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
And now to business. Minister of State for Finance Bashir Yuguda has said the federal government would continue to push for favorable deal on the proposed economic partnership agreements to ensure the country does not venture into an agreement that would have adverse effect on the growth of the manufacturing sector. Speaking as guest lecturer at the 42nd Annual General Meeting of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, Yuguda stressed that government would only adopt economic measures that would promote the growth of the economy in line with Vision 2020. However, MAN has continued to voice opposition to the Economic Partnership Agreement, which is a scheme to create free trade areas between the European Union, EU, and Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific Group of States, arguing that it does not offer the required protection instruments in its current state. The minister says the government is actively encouraging the African Union and ECOWAS to reconsider endorsing the Economic Partnership Agreement in its current state, stressing that the government is critically assessing options that will improve competitiveness and ensure that local manufacturers are adequately protected. According to Yuguda, government is negotiating a strong common external tariff agreement with ECOWAS partners, which will enable the government to protect strategic industries in the country when necessary, so that optimal tariff lines are deflected in the deviation instrument. And away from that story, as part of efforts to encourage accuracy in financial reportage, a media consultancy outfit has organized a one-day training program in Lagos for financial business reporters across the country. The seminar, the organizers say, it's aimed at familiarizing business journalists with effective financial reporting techniques. Rashid was at the training program and filed in this report.
Nigeria recently emerged the biggest economy on the African continent. The country, no doubt, should run an accounting system which is in conformity with international financial reporting standards. This will enable international trade partners to easily understand companies' accounts from the country, thus easing cross-boundary transactions. The resource person at the training program, Chris Okwe, laments Nigeria's low level of compliance with international standards. However, he is optimistic that there will be improvement with time.
We do have a problem around the people who want to provide this service, and that's in terms of competence. And then we have on the other part, the people who want to receive the service, who may not even be convinced. But I think we are trending well. We're trending well on the conversion train. And believe me, more and more people are getting more interested in IFRS.
The media, it was emphasized, must play a major role in informing the people about new technologies and developments in the financial world.
In essence, number one is to keep journalists abreast of the happenings within the economy, as it were, particularly as concerns reporting, financial reporting. And number two, to help them familiarize with the new standards, the new IFRS standards, as it impacts how they report, in the media. Again, is to enhance, their knowledge.
Finance and business journalists present say the training is timely as it complements efforts geared towards enlightening the people.
There's a lot of improvements this year to help journalists to do critical analysis on financials when they are published, ask the right questions, and then inform the investing public appropriately.
With the training of journalists in standard financial reporting, better days can be said to be ahead in the world of business as Nigeria prepares to embrace new financial models. Rashid, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Sport news is next after this break. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Usain Bolt storming through, he takes Puyol with a flying lead.
Go, taking him out in the lead and
Welcome to CoreTV Sport News. A state of unease pervades the country now as the deadline issued by FIFA to Nigeria on the crisis of its football federation will expire by midnight Monday. The red flag was flagged on Friday when FIFA outrightly rejected Chris Giwa's claims to have been elected as the NFF president and asked him to vacate the NFF office by or before midnight of Monday. The football governing body's FIFA letter was written by Secretary General Jerome Wag in the correspondence addressed to NFF Secretary General Musa Madu. FIFA condemned the elective Congress held on August 26, through which Giwa emerged as the president. According to FIFA, the so-called election held last week Tuesday was a ruse, as an elective Congress was not on the agenda of the NFF General Assembly. Before the crisis-marked Congress, FIFA had given the NFF board the permission to hold the election at a new date after extensive deliberation by the General Assembly. The date agreed upon by the majority faction that pledged its allegiance to Aminu Megari, the former president of the board, was September 4. Nigeria Football Administration has been steadily racked by crisis for about 2 months, leading to the outbreak of a strange inferno that raised the account section, the Secretary General Office, and the Computer Department of the NFF Secretariat on August 20. Goals have continued to pour in the English Premier League as results of matches played on Sunday follows the same pattern as matches played earlier in the weekend, headlined by Chelsea's win over Everton at Goodison Park in a 9-goal thriller. Liverpool again thrashed Tottenham Hotspur 3-0 at White Hart Lane, which was the same scenario that played out last season, with a similar result 7 as the beginning of the end for the then manager Andre Villas-Boas, while Arsenal's Jekyll and Hyde performance again played out in a 1-1 draw at the Workers' Stadium, home of Leicester City. As the reshaping of the Manchester United squad by manager Luis van Gaal continues with the departure of Shinji Kagawa to Borussia Dortmund on a 4-year deal, record signing Angel Di Maria says he's at Old Trafford to help United regain its preeminence in English football and as a continental powerhouse. Angel Di Maria, who made his debut in a drab-nil draw at Burnley on Saturday, says he joined the club due to his history and plays in European football, promising that he will do his bit to help the club back to the top. Di Maria, who left the field early during his debut due to a suspicion of injury, is the 4th major signing and has been given the iconic number 7 shirt made famous by great alumnus of United of the past. Meanwhile, United have also completed the signing of Dele Blind from Ajax, while Javier Hernandez is also expected to go to Real Madrid on loan, with a view to a permanent signing after his initial loan spell. Stories outside Nigeria's next coming up shortly after this break. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. The attempted assassination of a top military commander plunged Lesotho into further turmoil on Sunday, following an apparent coup that forced the Prime Minister to flee to neighboring South Africa. Gunmen attacked the Maseru home of Lieutenant General Maparanko Maho, District Police Commissioner Mafokeng Kolo confirmed, deepening a seeming battle for control of the military. The pre-dawn attack on Saturday was reportedly unsuccessful, killing only a dog, but Mahao's whereabouts is now unknown. Mahao had been appointed head of the Lesotho Defense Force by Prime Minister Tom Thabane shortly before he was forced to flee to South Africa in the early hours of Saturday. Previous Commander Lieutenant General Tilali Kamoli was accused of leading a coup attempt against him, a charge the military denies. Low-ranking soldiers said it was unclear who was now giving their orders. They remained confined to barracks. As some live returned to Lesotho streets on Sunday, it was not clear who was in charge of this beautiful but poor mountainous kingdom of about 2 million people. Foko is a member of Mestin's Lesotho's Congress for Democracy Party, which was in an uneasy coalition government with Thambane. The party has also denied allegations of involvement in the coup. Meanwhile, the police were struggling to regroup after a deadly attack by the military on key installations early Saturday, which resulted in an arsenal of weapons being seized. District Police Commissioner Mafokeng Kolo confirmed that one officer died in the attack. European Union leaders on Sunday gave Russia a week to reverse course in Ukraine or face a new round of sanctions as Kiev warned it was on the brink of full-scale war with Moscow. Fears are growing that the confrontation on the EU's eastern borders could engulf the whole continent after Russia sent troops to back a new offensive by pro-Kremlin rebels in southeastern Ukraine. EU President Herman Van Rompuy said the 28 leaders meeting in Brussels agreed to take further significant steps if Moscow did not back down. The European Commission, the EU's executive arm, has been ordered to produce options for new sanctions within a week. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said the new sanctions would build on existing measures against Russia, which mainly cover financial services, armaments and energy. British Prime Minister David Cameron said it was totally unacceptable that there are Russian soldiers on Ukrainian soil. The EU delivered a further reps to Russia on Saturday when it appointed Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, a vocal Kremlin critic, to replace Van Rompuy as its next president. The EU and the United States have already slapped tough sanctions on Russia for its role in the Ukraine crisis, including Moscow's annexation of Crimea in March. Pakistani government has said it was trying to reopen talks with opposition groups after bloody clashes between police and protesters outside the Prime Minister's house left 2 dead and hundreds injured. Thousands of followers of politician Imran Khan and firebrand cleric Taha ul-Khadri have been camped outside Parliament since August 15, demanding resignation of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, triggering a crisis that has raised the specter of military intervention. Opposition groups who claimed the 2013 election, which swept Sharif to power, was rigged, attempted to storm the Prime Minister's official residence on Saturday night using cranes to remove barricades. Information Minister Pervez Rashid said the government remained open to restarting negotiations to end the situation peacefully. By Sunday morning, sporadic clashes were continuing between police and riot gear and a few hundred protesters, as thousands more lay on the grass and slept. Many of the protesters had come armed with batons and slingshots. The protest leaders have drawn thousands to the streets of Islamabad, but their call has not mobilized mass support in a country of 180 million people. And that's been the show on CoreTV Primetime News. Tomorrow we shall be serving you with breaking news. I'm Femi Okuntoye. Thanks for watching.